Hey y'all, so we're going to jump straight into our reading of the week. Our reading of the week is called A Chance for Freedom. Everybody say, A Chance for Freedom. A Chance for Freedom. Now, before we jump in, take a minute to just think about this title. What are some connections we can make just from the title? A Chance for Freedom will allow us to make a connection from text to text. What's some other things that we've read where they talked about wanting or needing freedom from something? You can think about a text to world connection. What's some stuff going on in the world right now or in the past that relates to needing and wanting freedom? And then think about yourself. What's some areas in your life right now or while you've been growing up where you've thought about the fact that you wanted more freedom? I'm sure there are plenty. So make these connections before we jump into the reading, because that's going to really help you process what's going on in this story. Feel free to also drop your connections in the comment box way at the bottom of this post. I want us to be able to talk about reading as much as possible so that way we can continue to progress and become greater readers. Okay? Now, the second thing, y'all know in class, I like to talk a lot about background knowledge before we jump into the actual reading. So I want to kind of give you guys an idea of the setting of this story. Okay, remember, setting talks about time and place. I'm really just going to talk about the place today so that way you guys can jump straight into reading. So the place this story takes place, it is actually North and South Korea. Now, one thing I want you guys to know is that North and South Korea used to be one big country called Korea. And it was kind of controlled and ruled by Japan. Now, one of the issues that happened during that time was that Japan and Korea did not create a good relationship. Japan did not treat Korean citizens the way that they should. One of the examples would be that during World War II, any of the battles, especially the big battles that they had, they kept putting Korean citizens on the front lines. What I mean by that is they were pretty much the first group of people to be wiped out. Now, we both know that's not fair, especially since Japan was the one that had issues with other countries. It wasn't necessarily fair that they were putting Korean citizens on the front lines of their own battle. Y'all know that's my opinion, and I want you to kind of think about your own opinions about the situation as well. Now, the second thing I wanted to kind of talk about regarding this time of being under Japan's rule is that the United States and Russia felt the need to kind of jump into the business. Right? So they actually jumped into this whole situation with Japan and Korea and split Korea into two. So that's how we came into North and South Korea being two different countries. Now, during this split, South Korea started to copy a lot of what the United States was doing as far as their government, allowing their people to be able to vote, allowing their people to be able to have a choice, believing in equality, all of these things that we kind of stand on at the United States. They started to kind of stand on in South Korea as well. Now, North Korea went a different route. They actually started to copy a lot of the way that Russia is set up. And Russia actually has a government called communism. Now, that's a big word. So everybody take a minute and say communism. Now, the thing about communism that I need you guys to understand is that in a communism government, no one individual owns anything. Okay, everything is owned by the government or by a community, and it is expected that it is shared amongst everybody in those locations. Now, in North Korea, this isn't really going on. What's really happening currently and in the past is that the ruler, or what they call a dictator, that's someone who's in rule and they don't really listen to the ones around, to the people around them. They kind of make decisions all by themselves about a whole country. Insert your own opinions here as well. But what ended up happening was they took this communism, and the dictator or the leader of North Korea started to give the money to the rich and to the military. As a matter of fact, a lot of the money went towards the military. So you have a lot of the poor. They don't have a chance to really gain anything. So a lot of the poor are going hungry. They don't have shelter. They don't have pretty much anything that they would need to live day-to-day life. So our story actually talks about a family that left North Korea looking for safety. This is another great place to make connections before we even start reading. What are some other things that we've read or talked about where a group of people moved from one place to another for better job opportunities or for a better life in general? So those are some things I want you guys to think about prior to reading. Now, before we jump in, I need you guys to actually use the reading checklist for every single thing that we do, including this passage. So as soon as you close this video, go ahead and look at the questions for this passage. Make sure you underline where to look in every question, because remember, every single question tells you where to look back in the passage. Make sure you also circle the main part of this question. What is this question really asking you? And I want you guys to attempt to annotate the type of question it is. This may be a little difficult because we started doing this independently right before we left from school, but feel free to ask me questions in the comment box about any of the questions that you have for this passage, and I will help you out with that as well. After you do analyzing the questions and check that off on your checklist, I want you guys to look at the words that I've posted below the checklist, okay? So the words that I posted are words that I kind of went through the story and figured that you guys will struggle with, just like I do in class. But during your first read, while you're actually listening to the read aloud, you can circle more words than what I provided. But I want you to at least know what these words mean in the chart below before you read. So again, right after this video, you are first going to look at the questions from the passage. Make sure you're underlining where to look, circling the main part of the question, and attempting to annotate or write notes on what type of question this may be. After you do that, go through the words. Look at the difficult words. Make sure you understand them before you start reading. Then you can listen to the read aloud video and circle unknown words as you are listening. Make sure that we are still practicing the good habits of being an excellent reader. You have those bookmarks that you can use as well that are inside of your Watson's Go to Birmingham books that will help you be successful on these passages too. Again, if you ever have any questions or any concerns, always drop them in the comment box. Thank you guys so much, and I cannot wait to see you.